Hello and welcome to Wiki Wacky Woody's Musings and Wanderings. Today I'll be talking to you about the Percy Jackson film adaptations so far.
Recently, the new trailer for Percy Jackson and the Sea Monsters has been posted. And I am quite excited. After the last movie, I was left somewhat disappointed, yet strangely enticed. There were many changes that had been made. Some I felt I felt that a lot of them were not necessary, but some of them were quite interesting. The biggest problem for many people was the fact that the characters were changed from 12-year-olds into 16-year-olds. I find that the biggest problem with this was the prophecy, which, because of this idea, they did not use. For those who have read the series, you'll be aware of the prophecy that goes something like this. A half-blood of the eldest gods shall reach 16 against all odds, and see the world in endless sleep. The hero Sarkis played shall reap. A single choice shall end his days, Olympus to preserve or raise. The concern with this was the fact that Percy had to turn 16 in order to fulfill the prophecy. In the movie, he really looks like he's 16, therefore the prophecy is kind of, void. And it was never referenced to, because of that reason, I suppose. However, other people are very happy with the change, because the concern is it will be too much like Harry Potter if they are 12 years old, and also because a lot of the characters are very mature for their age, and it's harder to make children act that way. But I don't think that it would have been impossible anyway. But the new trailer does bode some questions. I mean, what is going on? One thing I'm glad that they've finally done is they've cast Dionysus, Mr. D, and that's Stanley Tucci, or is it Tucci? I'm not entirely sure. And he also plays Caesar Flickerman in The Hunger Games, so there we go. And I know him the best from that movie, that gay guy in The Devil Wears Prada, but unfortunately my sister can only remember him from the time when he played that killer in that movie. The Lovely Bones. He played that guy in The Lovely Bones. So they finally got an actress to play Clarice, daughter of Ares, and whilst I'm ecstatic that they've done so, I'm a bit annoyed that they've gotten Eleven Rambin to play her, who was in The Hunger Games. My concern is that she looks too pretty, basically. She just looks too pretty. She's not quite as butch as I imagine Clarice to be, but who knows, she could possibly do a good job. And why don't they have Ares yet? I mean, hello. That would have been an epic fight, Percy and Ares, in the first movie, and now they still don't have him for the second one. So of course I've just realised that Mr. D isn't even meant to be in this movie because he was replaced by Tantalus for this book. And of course we all know who Tantalus is, us Greek myth buffs. And it was quite hilarious. Some of the quotes that were there were quite funny, like the marshmallow that committed suicide. Marshmallows committing suicide. They didn't reference the sirens yet. That doesn't mean they won't appear, but it just could mean that they're leaving some of the good things out of the trailer for once, so we are left wondering what's going to happen. But, I mean, if they don't include that in the movie, I will be very miffed. Please raise your hands. How many of you were looking forward to seeing Grover in a wedding dress? And I see no wedding dress in that trailer. I'm kind of sad. I mean, okay, we don't really want Grover in peril being kidnapped by a Cyclops, but, I mean, hello? The wedding dress would have been too funny. It doesn't mean it won't happen. It could happen somehow. There's a trailer. A trailer is meant to show only the good bits, essentially, but there is plenty that we may not be seeing. He might yet be kidnapped, but I don't know about the wedding dress.
On the plus side, Luke Castellan is back and Cronus is trying to take over the world. That's not good news, but it is for us Percy Jackson fans who want to see Cronus, seeing as how he was left out from the first movie. That's just about it for me, and this has been Wiki Wacky Wudsies, Musings and Wonderings. See you later.